look at Myers-Briggs, you'll notice that each of the personalities is 4 letters, and each one of those letters can either be one of 2 potential letters. The first one is I versus E, introverted versus extroverted. The second one is N versus S, intuitive versus sensing. The third one is thinking versus feeling, T or F. And the last one is perceiving or judging, judgment, whatever you want to call it, which is P or J. What people don't oftentimes understand is that 3 of those letters out of the 4 in your personality type, if you look at the global population, 3 of those letters are roughly 50-50 in their distribution among the global population. And so introverted, extroverted, 50-50. If you were to look at the percentage allocation of people, this is based on lots of different research studies that have been done. Obviously, we don't know all 7 billion Myers-Briggs types, but if you extrapolate from tons and tons of empirical research that's been done, introvert versus extrovert is roughly 50-50. Perceiving versus judging, the last letter, it's roughly 50-50. Some people say it's 45 perceiving, 55 judging, but it's roughly 50-50. The third letter, thinking, feeling, is 50-50. There's a loose correlation with women, females, and feeling, and males and thinking, but it's not as strong of a correlation as what you would think. But there is a correlation there. And then enter, the second letter. The second letter is not 50-50. And the second letter, intuition versus sensing, in my opinion, is the single greatest differentiator between all of the other dichotomies, they call them, the letters. Intuition is 15% of the global population, and sensing is 85% of the global population. And so it's an interesting thing because you would, why is that single dichotomy 15-85 and the rest 50-50? And what it results in is 15% of the population feeling like they're drastically different than everyone else, and 85% of the population thinking that the 15% are really strange and weird. And that's just based on my observation, as well as lots of things that I've read online from research studies, as well as other people's opinions and experiences themselves. And I've talked to tons of sensing types and intuitives to make that statement. A lot of people don't know that, and it's just a fascinating thing to really wrap your head around. It means that every intuitive type is immediately going to feel a lot better when chatting and discussing and talking with another intuitive type, because they are rarely understood from a person-to-person level with the rest of the world. And it's almost intoxicating whenever an intuitive type, meaning you have N in your letter, talks with another intuitive type, because generally speaking, whenever we talk with the population at whole, we feel very misunderstood, or perhaps not understood at all, or even worse, we're bored. And I'm not placing judgment on which one is better. I don't think either one is better. But sensing types have they oftentimes don't enjoy talking at great length with intuitives because we don't speak their language. We barely live in the reality that they live in. We are very much more pattern and meaning focused. We want to know the meaning and pattern behind things. And so oftentimes when we talk about anything, just like I'm doing literally right now, we're talking about conceptual things, abstract things, why things are happening, and going deeper and deeper and deeper, versus sensing types want to keep it concrete reality. How does this actually apply to me? What are you observing that actually will impact my life and that I can see, touch, feel with my hand? What's it actually going to alter in my life from this conversation? And why explain the meaning behind things if it's not going to impact my direct life? And that valid point, why? So, yeah, it's a very different way of going about life. And I didn't know for a long time until I was roughly 30 that this, even what Myers-Briggs was, but then that the allocation of intuition versus sensing was that. And it explained so much about my difficulty with relationships with most other people, and it actually enabled me to tailor my communication and to have good, positive, and actually meaningful relationships with sensing types, which are 85% of everybody. And it was very powerful. And so whenever people say Myers-Briggs is worthless and it doesn't actually do anything and it's flawed and all that, well, this INTP found a lot of value in what I just explained. And I think that empirically, if you just look at the 1585 breakdown of intuition versus sensing, you're going to find that 85% of people automatically don't see the value in it because they, by and large, don't have a problem. Because 85% of the time, whenever they talk with other people, it's their people. And so intuitive people don't have that benefit. 15% of the time, whenever we talk with another person and interact with another person, do we feel like we're understood and it's meaningful and they speak our language. 15%, 15%, that's not much. And so whenever we finally meet someone that's like us, then it's really overwhelming in a positive way. And the last thing I'll mention is where I used to live. I lived in a large city of several 100,000 people, and there was a local Myers-Briggs chapter there, a kind of a membership group for Myers-Briggs. And there wasn't a single sensing type in the entire group. So we had 48 members, 48, and there wasn't one sensing type. And this goes to show just how meaningful Myers-Briggs can be for intuitive types, because we're interested in frameworks and conceptual theories and all that. But not only that, it's a great chance for us to talk with other intuitives. And so there's a camaraderie, and it's really great. So that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about the ratio of each dichotomy. If you haven't hit like or subscribe, please do so, and that would make me very happy. I'm going to give you several seconds of awkward silence right now to do the task in which I've bestowed upon you. You did it!